On the day I caught my boyfriend in bed with my best friend, I found my fated mate, my boyfriend's brother, that cruel Alpha King. How dare you enter my room without my permission? The owner of that dangerous voice was none other than Alpha Bryan, my boyfriend Bruce's brother. Despite sharing the same blood, they were totally different in nature. Bruce was a calm, collected person. He could get along with everyone. On the other hand, his big brother, Bryan, was a really cold-hearted man. Everyone in our pack was frightened of him. I let out a gasp, and my hand began to shake. Sorry, the big brother-in-law. I thought Bruce was here. I did not know that it was his room. Brother-in-law? Is what I've heard correct, Bryan? After entering the room, a woman positioned herself next to Bryan. She was a stunningly beautiful woman. She had a beauty that men usually worship. I guess she's Bryan's fiancée, our future Luna. After giving me an in-depth look from head to toe, she turned her attention to him. Is she Bruce's girl? Bryan raised his hand to stop her from continuing to speak. His gaze moved to me. Bruce went out. Leave here. He yelled at me. What? But Bruce just told me on the phone that he was at home. Didn't you hear? I said leave. He repeated. I flinched at his cold tone, and rushed out of his room while trying to control my tears. No one had ever talked to me like that. I sobbed and was about to move when I heard the woman talking to him. Bryan, she is so cheap. Did you see her dressing sense? I looked down at my clothes. What was wrong with my clothes? I was wearing a decent dress. What's wrong with our Bruce? Does he really like that girl? I can't believe this. He has such a bad choice. I frowned and made my way to the stairs. I did not want to stay a single second here. I did not come here to take any humiliation. After leaving the pack house, my mind was in turmoil. Tomorrow is my 18th birthday, and by then I'll know for sure if Bruce is my fated mate. I wanted Bruce to be with me on such a big day, but he was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? Why did he lie to me? I felt uneasy and wanted someone to talk to, so I took a cab to my best friend Luisa's house. Luisa looked shocked when I appeared in her bedroom, as if she were looking at a ghost. Why you? Why are you here? She asked, and immediately tried to cover her neck and arms with the blanket. I was unable to understand her reaction, but suddenly I heard the sound of someone opening a door. I turned my head toward the bathroom. There, I saw a man coming out with wet hair, wearing a white bathrobe. I could not believe my eyes. I felt a pang in my heart. My eyes began to well up with tears as I uttered his name. Bruce? I felt as if the ground had slipped beneath my feet. It would have been better if I had buried myself before seeing this. So Sophia? How could you? I took a step back. I felt heavy in my chest. The person I most trusted betrayed me. I had always wished to spend the rest of my life with him. I thought I was a lucky girl to have him, but what did I get in return? Cheating? Sophia, whatever you are thinking, nothing is like that, baby. Bruce attempted to approach me, but I stopped him by lifting my hand. I shook my head. I felt like passing out. I turned my head toward Luisa. Her head was down. How could she have done that? Wasn't she my best friend? And you? I muttered to her. She looked at me and shook her head. She forgot she was wrapped in a blanket. Her blanket had fallen from her chest. A few marks on her naked body became visible in front of my eyes. When I saw that, I almost fell to the floor. Sophia, I am sorry. Please forgive me, baby. Bruce came close and held my hand. I felt disgusted when he touched me. I yanked my hand out of his grasp and slapped him. How long? I asked. He was silent. Why? Why was he so quiet right now? It had been 2 years since we had been in a relationship. He promised me to be a loyal man. He vowed to me that he would mark me and make me his mate. But what exactly was he doing now? I asked how long. I yelled at him. He remained silent, not even making eye contact. I went to Luisa. You, tell me, how long have you been doing this behind my back with him? I wanted to hear for myself how long they had made a fool out of me. Oh, 1 year. I bit my lips, almost bleeding. I could not take more stabs in my heart. I didn't want to do that, Sophia. I only love you. I heard Bruce. Did he still have the courage to speak? I scoffed at him. After what he did, he had the audacity to say that. Why did you cheat on me? You never let me touch you. I am an alpha. I have some desires that I need to fulfill, so I had to go another route. I was waiting to turn 18. I wanted to become your mate and wife. Before doing anything, I wanted to give our relationship a name. I have never considered another man. I was saving myself just for you. But couldn't you wait for me? Not even another year? I tightened my fists to stop crying. I took a deep breath. Everything is over. The relationship between us is over. I turned around to leave. I ran downstairs while crying. Sophia. Bruce rushed down the stairs and grabbed my arm. Don't touch me. How dare you say that you broke up with me? You can't go anyway. No one will accept you. Everyone knows that you are my girlfriend. You are a weak omega. No one will make you his wife but a plaything. You should be relieved that I am still in love with you. So just forget everything and pretend you haven't seen anything. I stared at him. How could a man be so shameless? I wanted to slap myself for falling for him. His words made me even more despised. I pushed him hard. You don't have to think about me. Go play with your Luisa like you have been doing all these times. Saying that, I walked out of the house. My legs felt shaky. I had no idea where to go. He called me a weak omega. He thought about me like this all the time. I walked like a crazy woman to the road. My steps became slower as I began to feel the sun, and its intensity nearly drove me insane. I was sweating, crying, and depressed. I could hear horns behind me. Hey, girl, go die somewhere else. Get out of our path. Our alpha is getting late. I was so occupied in my messed up mind that I could not hear the driver clearly. When I turned around, I was astounded to see a long line of black cars behind me. A bulky man emerged from a car that was in the middle of the other cars. Then he opened the back door for someone. A man in a black suit came out and made his way towards me. Because of the sunlight and my glossy eyes, I could not see his face. He took a slow stride forward and came to a halt in front of me. His presence blocked the sunlight from falling on my face. I blinked to get a better look at him. It was Alpha Bryan. How did I end up meeting him twice on the same day? I was unable to think of what to call him now. Big brother-in-law? Bryan? Alpha? He had a frown on his face as he stared at me. He might be wondering why I was in the middle of the road. I wanted to tell him about what his brother had done to me, but before I could, I felt unsteady. Darkness began to descend around me. I felt myself slamming into his hard chest. His strong arms encircled my waist almost immediately. When he touched me, I felt a strange sensation that I had never felt before. Before I could comprehend the unfamiliar feeling, I passed out in his arms.